Thousands of condo buildings just landed on a federal blacklist that almost no buyer has ever heard of. If your building is one of them, your unit may be nearly impossible to sell. Fannie Mae flagged these properties as ineligible for conventional financing, and 35% of them sit in a single state. That's why thousands of condos are sitting empty, and the market is crashing in 2 states. Los Angeles County just posted its worst condo sales numbers since 2005. Florida's condo inventory has exploded to levels we haven't seen since the foreclosure wave. And a deadline that passed on December 31st, 2024 triggered everything you're about to see. Stay with us because by the end of this video, you'll know which buildings to avoid, which states are next, and the one document every condo buyer needs to demand before they sign anything. For years, condos were the entry point into homeownership, the starter unit, the path in. That entire equation just broke. The National Association of Realtors tracks condo and co-op sales separately from single-family homes, and the divergence right now is the widest we've seen since the 2008 crash. Single-family home sales are soft. Condo sales are collapsing. 2 completely different markets moving in 2 completely different directions under the same headlines in the same country. Redfin data shows the share of condo listings cutting their price has jumped sharply over the past 18 months, well above the rate for single-family homes. Months of supply for condos in major metros has more than doubled from 2022. Days on market for condos is stretching past the 6-month mark in places where it used to be 30 days. And Cotality, formerly CoreLogic, has been flagging condo segments as the first to show negative equity exposure since the post-2008 cleanup. Intercontinental Exchange Mortgage Technologies Mortgage Monitor is now reporting the same divergence on the delinquency side. Condo loan performance is deteriorating faster than single family. Here's the part that should stop you cold. In 2008, condo prices dropped harder and faster than single family because condos were always the canary. They go first, they fall further, they recover slower, and right now, that canary is screaming. Florida is where the dam broke first, and it broke on a single date, December 31st, 2024. That was the deadline written into Florida Statute 718.112, the law that came out of the Surfside tragedy. On June 24th, 2021, the Champlain Towers South Condominium in Surfside, Florida, partially collapsed in the middle of the night. 98 people died. The investigation by the National Institute of Standards and Technology is still open today. In response, Florida passed Senate Bill 4D, which created statutes 553.899, mandatory milestone structural inspections for any condo building 3 stories or taller at 30 years of age or 25 years if it sits within 3 miles of the coast. And it created the Structural Integrity Reserve Study requirement under Statute 718.112, which forces every one of those buildings to fully fund reserves for structural components. No more waivers, no more underfunding. That deadline triggered the single biggest financial shock to condo owners in Florida history. Hundreds of buildings discovered they needed millions of dollars in repairs they had deferred for decades. Special assessments started landing in mailboxes, some at $30,000 per unit, some well into 6 figures. Florida Realtors data shows statewide condo closed sales dropping sharply year over year. Active condo listings have surged. Months of supply in Miami-Dade and Broward has pushed into double digits, and the share of Florida condo listings cutting price has crossed historical thresholds. If this is the first time you're hearing about any of this, you're not alone. The networks won't run it. The cable channels won't touch it. So if you want to know what's actually happening to the housing market before it shows up on the evening news, hit the subscribe button and tap the notification bell, because what's coming next out of California shifts this story from a Florida problem to a national one. Florida is the financial shock. California is the supply shock. In the first 2 months of this year, all of Los Angeles County, a county with more than 10 million people, sold roughly 1,976 condos. That's the worst start to any year going back to 2005, right before the last bubble peaked. Condo prices in LA County are down more than 4% year over year, while single-family prices are down only about 1.5%. That spread is the canary again. But here's where it gets structural. California Civil Code Section 895, also known as the Right to Repair Act, combined with Code of Civil Procedure Section 337.15, creates a 10-year liability window where Condo associations can sue developers for construction defects. 10 full years. Most developers can't carry that risk on their books, so they stopped building for-sale condos. Instead, they're building apartments, build-to-rent communities, anything they can lease instead of sell. The math from a builder's perspective is brutal. Build a condo and face a decade of potential litigation, or build an apartment and collect rent forever. U.S. Census Bureau permitting data shows California condo permits collapsing while multifamily rental permits hold steady. NAHB has been flagging this divergence in their builder surveys for the past 3 years. So in California, you have collapsing condo sales meeting collapsing condo construction, and the older condo stock that already exists is staring down the same age of building problem Florida is facing, except California hasn't passed the law yet. They will, and when they do, the same shockwave that hit Florida hits the West Coast. Now stack the federal layer on top of the state layer, and you understand why the entire market is freezing. In December 2021, 6 months after Surfside, Fannie Mae issued Lender Letter LL 2021-14, temporary requirements for condo and co-op projects. Freddie Mac issued the parallel guidance in Bulletin 2021-38. These rules expanded the condo project review for every loan Fannie and Freddie touch. And Fannie and Freddie touch the vast majority of conventional mortgages in this country. Every condo loan now runs through Form 1076, the Condominium Project Questionnaire. The lender has to verify the building's reserves, special assessment history, deferred maintenance status, insurance adequacy, and litigation exposure before they'll write the loan. If the building fails the questionnaire, the loan dies. And wait, it gets worse. Fannie Mae maintains what the industry calls the unavailable project list, buildings flagged as ineligible for conventional financing. The list now reportedly includes over 5,100 condo buildings, and about 35% of them are in Florida. If your building lands on that list, your buyers can't get a conventional loan. Cash buyers only. The pool collapses by 80%. And once again, it gets worse. Fannie Mae's most recent guideline updates increased the minimum reserve funding requirement from 10 to 15% of the annual budget, reportedly taking effect in January 2027. Thousands more buildings will fail the new threshold the moment it activates. And again, it gets worse. The limited review pathway, the streamlined condo loan track that historically covered roughly 40% of condo purchases, is being restricted out of existence. Every condo loan moving forward gets the full review. Every building, every time. And here's the take that's going to make a lot of people in the industry uncomfortable. Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac didn't just tighten condo lending. They effectively created a two-tier housing market with the stroke of a guideline update. New luxury condos with full reserves pass. Older middle-class condos with deferred maintenance fail. The people getting wiped out aren't the wealthy. They're the working families who bought a condo because it was the only thing they could afford. And nobody in Washington is talking about it. If that last point hit a nerve, drop a comment below and tell us. Do you think Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac made the right call tightening these rules, or did they just lock millions of middle-class condo owners out of the market? We read every comment, and we're curious where you land. If you've gotten this far, throw a like on the video. That signal is what tells YouTube to push this to more people who need to see it before they buy a condo this year. This affects 3 groups of people differently. If you own a condo right now, your equity may already be eroding. Get a current appraisal and pull your building's reserve study before you assume anything. If you're trying to sell a condo this year, verify your building's Fannie Mae eligibility status before you list. Because if you're on the unavailable list, you've lost 80% of your buyer pool overnight. And if you're thinking about buying a condo, the next 2 minutes are the most important 2 minutes of this video. Here's exactly what you demand before you sign anything. 1. The most recent reserve study, not a summary, the full document. You want to see the percent funded ratio. Below 70%, walk away. Below 50%, run. 2. 3 years of audited financial statements and the current operating budget, cash reserves, debt levels, and whether the association is operating in the red. 3. The special assessment history. Every assessment in the past 5 years, the amount, and the reason. A building with 3 assessments in 5 years is telling you something. 4. The master insurance certificate. With Florida and California losing admitted carriers, you need to verify the building can actually replace itself if something goes wrong. 5. The last 12 months of board meeting minutes. The minutes will tell you what the financial statements won't. Pending litigation, owner disputes, maintenance failures the board is arguing about. The U.S. Census Bureau's American Housing Survey shows the majority of U.S. condo stock was built before 1990. That stock is hitting the 40 to 50-year wall where everything has to be replaced at once. Roof, plumbing, risers, electrical, facade, elevators, HVAC. The bigger the building, the bigger the bill. Run the math. A median condo at $380,000 financed at today's roughly 6.5% mortgage rate on a 30-year fixed is roughly $2,400 a month in principal and interest, and $600 in HOA. Add $200 in HO-6 insurance. Add $400 in property tax, and you're at $3,600 a month before the first special assessment lands. So what comes next? A two-tier condo market. Luxury new construction with full reserves continues to sell to wealthy buyers paying cash. The entry-level and mid-tier stock, the buildings working families bought to get into the market, starts to terminate. You're going to see two things happen at the same time. Older condo buildings will get bought out by developers, demolished, and replaced with new luxury construction at 3 times the price point. And in cities that don't allow that, usually because of zoning, the buildings will just sit empty or sell to cash investors at fire sale prices. The insurance crisis hits next. Florida's average homeowner's premium is already among the highest in the country. California's Fair Plan policy count has more than doubled since 2020 as admitted carriers pull out. Insurance Information Institute and NAIC data both show the property insurance market separating into states insurers will write and states they won't. This is the slow-motion condo extinction event, and it's going to play out over the next 5 years in every coastal market in America. If you got value out of this one, hit subscribe so the next deep dive lands in your feed. We're going one level deeper next week on the specific high-risk markets and the buildings most likely to fail the Fannie Mae review. The buildings won't all fall like Surfside did. Most will fall financially first. The dollar signs will collapse before the concrete does. And by the time the rest of the country catches up to what Florida and California are showing us right now, the buyers who paid attention will be the ones still standing. Subscribe and hit the notification bell so the next video lands in your feed the moment it drops. And watch this one as well. We'll see you next time.